Marcus Reed paid for first class, but 3 boarding pass checks later, someone decided he didn't belong there. The flight attendant's smile was bright, and her words were polite, but the security officers at the door told a different story. A passenger had expressed concern, not about anything Marcus did, but about how he made them feel. In front of 100 witnesses, Marcus was walked off that plane for the crime of sitting quietly with a book. What they didn't know was who he actually was, and that this time, the lie wouldn't stay buried. By the time the captain refused to fly and the truth started leaking, the airline realized they'd removed the wrong man. Subscribe right now and tell me where you're watching from, because this fight for dignity is just beginning. Marcus Reed adjusted his cuff at the check-in counter and tried to breathe normally. The agent's smile was bright, but her eyes moved past him to someone behind. "Just need to verify your passport again, sir," she said. Marcus handed it over. He had done this 100 times. The delay felt familiar in a way that made his stomach tighten. "Random security check," she said. He nodded. The word random never felt random. Behind him, a woman sighed loudly. Marcus kept his hands visible on the counter, and his voice quiet when he asked if everything was all right. "Just procedure," the agent said. Her fingers moved slowly across the keyboard. Marcus felt the weight of being watched without being seen. He told himself it was nothing. Another agent appeared and whispered something. The first agent's smile thinned. "You're all set, Mr. Reed," she said finally. Marcus thanked her and walked toward the gate. His briefcase felt heavier than it should. He had a meeting in 6 hours that would fund scholarships for 200 students. He could not afford to miss it. The airport was bright and loud. Marcus found a seat near the window and opened his book. He did not read the words. A man in an expensive suit sat nearby and glanced at Marcus twice. The glances were quick, but Marcus felt them. He had learned to recognize that particular kind of looking. His phone buzzed. A text from Malik. "Safe travels. Don't let them tire you out." Marcus smiled despite himself. His son always knew. The gate agent announced pre-boarding for passengers needing assistance. Marcus watched families gather their things. A mother bent down to fix her daughter's shoe. The tenderness made his chest ache. He wanted to arrive intact. He wanted to be treated normally. The gate agent called for first-class boarding. Marcus stood and joined the line. 3 people ahead of him, 2 behind. He stepped onto the jet bridge. The sound of his footsteps echoed. The air conditioning hummed. His world narrowed to the walk ahead. Marcus felt his pulse in his throat. He told himself to stay calm. He was just a man going home. Marcus entered the aircraft, and the flight attendant smiled at him. Her eyes moved to his boarding pass, and something shifted in her expression. "Welcome aboard," she said. Her voice was polite but careful. Marcus nodded and moved toward his seat. Row 3, window. He had paid for the upgrade because his back hurt and he needed to work. He placed his briefcase in the overhead bin. His movements were precise and small. He sat down and buckled his seatbelt. Across the aisle, a white man in his 60s settled into his seat with a sigh of comfort. The man glanced at Marcus and his eyebrows lifted slightly. Marcus opened his book. He did not look up. More passengers boarded. The cabin filled with voices and the rustle of bags. Marcus kept his focus on the page in front of him. The words still would not stay still. "Excuse me, sir." Marcus looked up. The flight attendant stood in the aisle. Her smile was still in place, but her eyes were different now. "May I see your boarding pass again?" she asked. Marcus handed it to her. His hands were steady, but his heart was not. She studied it for several seconds. Marcus felt the man across the aisle watching. "Thank you," she said. She handed it back and moved away. Marcus felt the tension in his shoulders deepen. He told himself it was routine. But it did not feel routine. The man across the aisle leaned slightly towards the window and pulled out his phone. Marcus saw him glance over again. The look was not hostile. It was assessing. Marcus felt himself being measured. He hated how familiar the feeling was. A woman with gray hair sat in the row behind him. She caught his eye and smiled warmly. Marcus smiled back. The kindness surprised him. The captain's voice came through the speakers, smooth and professional. They would be departing soon. Marcus exhaled slowly. He told himself the hard part was over. He was wrong. The senior flight attendant appeared in the aisle. Her name tag read, Dana Whitaker. Her smile was trained and bright, but it dimmed when she looked at Marcus. "Good afternoon, sir," she said. The word sir sounded different in her mouth. It carried an edge Marcus recognized. "Afternoon," Marcus said. "May I see your boarding pass one more time?" Dana asked. Marcus felt his chest tighten. He reached into his pocket and handed it to her. This was the third time. Dana studied it carefully. Her eyes moved between the pass and Marcus's face. She was not checking. She was deciding. "Is there a problem?" Marcus asked quietly. "Just verifying," Dana said. Behind Marcus, the woman with gray hair shifted in her seat. The man across the aisle set his phone down and watched openly now. Dana handed the pass back. Her fingers did not quite touch Marcus's hand. "Thank you for your patience," she said. She walked away, but Marcus felt her hesitation. She paused near the galley and spoke quietly to another attendant. Their eyes flicked toward him. Marcus felt his stomach drop. He knew that look. He had seen it before. Graham Hollis, the man across the aisle, cleared his throat. "They're very thorough these days," he said to no one in particular. His tone suggested Marcus was the reason for the thoroughness. Marcus did not respond. He opened his book again and pretended to read. His hands wanted to shake, but he would not let them. Dana returned. She stood in the aisle beside Marcus's seat. She did not speak immediately. The silence stretched. The cabin felt smaller. "Sir, I need you to step into the aisle for a moment," Dana said. Her voice was calm, but firm. Marcus felt the weight of every eye in first class turn toward him. "Why?" Marcus asked. "We need to sort something out," Dana said. Marcus felt his breath catch. He stood slowly and stepped into the aisle. His pulse thundered in his ears. The trap had closed. Dana led Marcus toward the front galley. Her posture was straight, and her voice stayed courteous. The words were kind, but the message was not. "There's a discrepancy with your seat assignment," she said. Marcus pulled his phone from his pocket. His hands were steady, but his throat felt tight. He opened his confirmation email and showed her the screen. "This is my seat," he said. Dana glanced at the email. Her eyes did not focus long enough to actually read it. "I understand, sir," she said, "but we need to verify with the gate." Marcus felt the lie take shape. It was not loud or dramatic. It was small and polite and perfectly designed. "I checked in online," Marcus said. "The pass scanned at the gate. There's no discrepancy." "Nevertheless," Dana said. The word hung between them. Marcus felt his dignity being peeled away one courteous phrase at a time. Graham appeared at the galley curtain. His face wore concern that looked practiced. "Is everything all right?" Graham asked. He directed the question to Dana, not Marcus. "Just a moment, Mr. Hollis," Dana said. Her voice warmed for Graham. The contrast made Marcus's skin prickle. "I felt a bit uneasy earlier," Graham said. "I wasn't sure if I should mention it." Marcus felt the words land. Uneasy. The perfect weapon. vague enough to mean anything and specific enough to justify everything. "Thank you for letting us know," Dana said. Marcus looked at Graham. Their eyes met. Graham's expression was blank, but his message was clear. Marcus was the problem. "I'm not moving," Marcus said quietly. His voice did not rise, but his tone hardened. He refused to accept guilt for existing. Dana's smile returned. It was colder now. "Sir, I'm going to need you to cooperate," she said. The word cooperate felt obscene. Marcus had done nothing wrong. Cooperation meant accepting a lie. "I've shown you my documents," Marcus said. "What specifically is the issue?" Dana's jaw tightened. She turned and signaled toward the cabin. Marcus saw a flight attendant reach for the phone. His heart sank. He knew what came next. 2 airport security officers appeared at the aircraft door. Their faces were apologetic, but their presence was the message. Dana spoke to them in low tones. Marcus caught fragments. Refusing to cooperate, concern about disruption, safety protocol. Every word was carefully chosen. Every phrase shifted the narrative away from facts. "Sir, we need you to step off the aircraft," the taller officer said. His voice was kind but inflexible. Marcus felt the cabin's attention sharpen. Phones appeared. People whispered. "I have done nothing wrong," Marcus said. His voice stayed level. He would not give them rage. He would not give them proof of the disruption they had invented. "We understand, sir," the officer said, "but we need to sort this out at the gate." Marcus looked at Dana. Her expression was blank. She had already decided his story. "What is the specific issue?" Marcus asked again. "Concern," Dana said. The word was a shield. It meant nothing and justified everything. Marcus felt the humiliation spread through his chest. It was not anger yet. It was grief. The kind that comes from being reduced to suspicion in public. He walked toward the door. His legs felt unsteady, but he kept his posture straight. He would not give them his dignity even if they had taken his seat. The cabin was silent as he passed. Marcus felt their stares. Some were sympathetic. Some were relieved. Some were certain he had done something to deserve this. The jet bridge was bright and cold. Marcus stood between the 2 officers while Dana spoke to the gate agent. Tanya Brooks looked exhausted. Her eyes flicked to Marcus and then away. She was afraid. Dana handed Tanya a tablet. "Customer refused relocation. Claimed seat was valid. Escalated to security." The language was surgical. It erased Marcus and replaced him with a problem. Marcus tried to speak. "I can show you." "Sir, please wait here," Tanya said. Her voice shook. She was not cruel. She was terrified of doing the wrong thing. Marcus stood at the podium and felt the distance between himself and the aircraft grow impossible. Marcus stood in the gate area while passengers walked past him toward other flights. Their eyes moved over him with curiosity or discomfort. He was visible in the worst way. Tanya typed rapidly on her computer. Her hands shook slightly. Dana stood beside her, arms crossed, face set. "The system shows his seat was valid," Tanya said quietly. Dana leaned in. "Check again." There was a last-minute change. Tanya's fingers hesitated on the keyboard. Marcus watched her face. She wanted to help, but she was afraid. "I don't see," Tanya started. "Then call operations," Dana said. Her tone left no room for questioning. Tanya picked up the phone. Her voice was barely audible as she explained the situation. Marcus pulled out his phone and texted Malik. "Removed from flight. I'm okay. Stay calm." Malik's response came immediately. "What happened?" Marcus typed. "Tell you later. Don't call yet." He did not want his son's anger to become part of this. Anger would give them justification. Graham Hollis appeared at the gate. He approached the podium with concern etched on his face. "I hope this gets resolved quickly," Graham said to Tanya. "We're already delayed." The implication was clear. Marcus was the cause of everyone's inconvenience. Dana nodded at Graham. "We're handling it, Mr. Hollis." Marcus felt his throat tighten. He wanted to speak, but every word felt dangerous. The story had already been written. He was difficult. He was disruptive. He was the reason. Tanya hung up the phone. Her face was pale. "Operations said to offer him the next available flight," she said. "In economy," Dana added. Marcus felt the insult settle in his bones. He had paid for first class. His seat was valid, and they wanted him to accept economy as a compromise. "No," Marcus said. His voice was quiet but steady. The word felt like a cliff edge. "Sir, we're trying to accommodate you," Dana said. Her tone was patient, the patience of someone dealing with unreasonable demands. "I want my original seat," Marcus said. "The one I paid for. The one that was valid when I boarded." Dana's smile was thin. "That seat has been reassigned." Marcus felt his stomach drop. He understood now. They had given his seat away. They had decided he did not belong there. "To whom?" he asked. Dana did not answer. The silence was its own confession. Captain Eleanor Hayes sat in the cockpit and checked her instruments. The flight was delayed. She had been told there was a passenger issue. Eleanor had been flying for 32 years. She knew what passenger issue often meant. She knew how easily someone became a problem when they asked too many questions. Her co-pilot glanced at her. "We're waiting on operations." Eleanor nodded. She felt the familiar pressure to let it go. The flight needed to leave. Passengers were restless. Her job was to fly, not to question. But something felt wrong. She unbuckled and stood. Her co-pilot raised an eyebrow. "I'm going to check on this," Eleanor said. She stepped into the cabin. Dana was near the galley, speaking quietly with another attendant. The crew looked tense. "Captain," Dana said, "we had to remove a disruptive passenger." Eleanor's jaw tightened. The word disruptive was easy. It covered everything and explained nothing. "What did he do?" Eleanor asked. Dana hesitated. "He refused to cooperate with a seat reassignment." "Why was his seat reassigned?" Eleanor asked. "Customer comfort concern," Dana said. The phrase made Eleanor's stomach turn. She had heard it before. It was the language of avoidance. "Whose comfort?" Eleanor asked. Dana's face went blank. "Company policy allows for reassignment when I asked whose comfort," Eleanor said. The cabin was quiet. Passengers were listening now. Eleanor felt their attention shift toward her. Dana's silence was an answer. Eleanor walked back to the cockpit. Her hands were steady, but her heart was not. She picked up the intercom and pressed the button. Her voice filled the cabin. "Ladies and gentlemen, this is Captain Hayes. This aircraft will not depart until the removed passenger is returned and the situation is fully verified." She set the intercom down. Her co-pilot stared at her. "Eleanor, call operations," Eleanor said. "Tell them I need the full incident report. Now." She had just put her career on the line. She felt the weight of it settle across her shoulders. But she also felt something else. Relief. She had drawn a line. Marcus heard the captain's voice through the terminal speakers. The announcement echoed in the gate area. He felt something inside him shift. Someone with authority had questioned the story. Tanya's eyes went wide. She looked at Marcus, and then at Dana. Her fear was visible, but so was something else. Hope. Dana's face went hard. She reached for the phone and dialed quickly. Her voice was clipped and angry. "We have a situation," Dana said into the phone. "The captain is refusing to depart." Marcus watched her. He saw how quickly control could unravel when someone said no. His phone buzzed. Malik. What's happening? Marcus typed. The captain stopped the flight. Malik. Good. Don't back down. Marcus felt the urge to escape. He could take the next flight. He could avoid the confrontation. He could protect his peace. But he thought about the next person. The one without a title or a son making calls. The one who would be dragged off with even less resistance. He walked to the podium. Tanya looked up at him. I need the seat audit, Marcus said quietly. And the reassignment log. Tanya's breath caught. Those were internal documents. Requesting them meant he was not accepting the story. I can't, Tanya started. You can, Marcus said. Or you can tell me who can. His voice was not aggressive. It was clear. He was asking for facts, not favors. Dana appeared beside him. Sir, those are internal documents. Then make them external, Marcus said. Dana's eyes narrowed. You're escalating this unnecessarily. You escalated it when you removed me, Marcus said. Passengers were filming now. Marcus saw phones pointed toward them. The moment was becoming public. Tanya swallowed hard. She looked at her screen and then at Marcus. Her hands hovered over the keyboard. I'll see what I can find, she whispered. Marcus felt his pulse slow. He was no longer trying to get back on a flight. He was stepping into confrontation. And he was not stepping alone. 3 airline supervisors arrived at the gate within minutes. They moved with practiced efficiency, creating a wall of authority around Marcus. Mr. Reed, I'm David Chen, operations manager, the first man said. Let's step somewhere private. Marcus stayed where he was. I'd prefer to stay here. His voice was calm, but his meaning was clear. Privacy meant erasure. Chen's smile tightened. We're trying to help you, sir. The word help felt like a threat. Marcus recognized the tactic. Isolate the problem. Control the narrative. Then help me understand why my valid seat was reassigned, Marcus said. Chen glanced at Dana. Something passed between them. A silent agreement to maintain the story. We can offer you a seat on the next flight, Chen said. First class, no charge. I already have first class, Marcus said, on this flight. Chen's patience was thinning. Sir, this flight is delayed because of this situation. The blame was subtle but clear. Marcus was the cause. Marcus was costing everyone time. In the cockpit, Eleanor listened to her phone. The voice on the other end was not friendly. Captain Hayes, you need to prepare for departure immediately, the voice said. Not until I have the full incident report, Eleanor said. You're creating an operational disruption. Eleanor felt her chest tighten. Her career was 32 years of following orders. But this order felt wrong. I'm ensuring passenger safety, she said. The passenger was removed for safety, the voice said. Then show me the documentation, Eleanor said. The line went quiet. Eleanor felt her breath catch. She had just challenged the entire chain of command. In the cabin, Ruth Delgado unbuckled her seatbelt. She was 68 and tired of watching injustice call itself procedure. She stood and walked to the galley. A young flight attendant looked up nervously. I'd like to speak with someone about what just happened, Ruth said. Ma'am, please return to your seat, the attendant said. Not until someone explains why a man was removed for having a valid ticket, Ruth said. Her voice was not loud, it was steady. The cabin went quiet around her. Graham shifted uncomfortably in his seat. He had not expected witnesses. At the gate, Tanya returned with papers clutched in her hands. She looked terrified. I found something, she whispered. Marcus felt his pulse quicken. The truth was coming. Tanya's hands shook as she laid the papers on the podium. Marcus leaned closer but did not touch them. He let her control the moment. "This is the manifest," Tanya said quietly. "Your seat was confirmed. Row 3, Seat A." Marcus nodded. He had known this, but knowing and proving were different things. "And this," Tanya said, sliding another sheet forward, "is the change order." Marcus read the timestamp. The change had been made after he boarded, after Dana had checked his pass 3 times. "Who authorized it?" Marcus asked. Tanya's voice dropped to a whisper. "It's marked as a customer comfort request." Marcus felt his stomach turn. The system had a button for making people disappear, and someone had pressed it. "Have you seen this before?" Marcus asked. Tanya hesitated, her eyes filled with tears she would not let fall. "Yes," she said. "A few times. We're told to handle it quietly." Marcus felt the weight of her confession. She was risking everything by telling the truth. "Thank you," he said. The gratitude made Tanya's eyes sting. No one had thanked her for doing what was right. They only punished her for doing what was wrong. "I hate myself every time," Tanya whispered. Marcus wanted to tell her it was not her fault, but they both knew complicity had a cost. "Would you be willing to share this with the captain?" Marcus asked. He did not demand. He offered her the choice. Tanya swallowed hard and nodded. Dana appeared behind them. Her smile was gone. Her face was cold with warning. "Tanya, those are internal documents," Dana said. "They're facts," Tanya said. Her voice shook, but she did not back down. Marcus felt something shift in the air. Tanya had chosen herself. Dana's eyes narrowed. "You're going to regret this." The threat was not subtle. Tanya's job was hanging by a thread. Chen stepped forward. "Let's all take a breath." His voice was smooth, but his eyes were calculating. He was deciding how much truth he could bury. Marcus held the papers carefully. They were thin and ordinary, but they were proof that the system had lied. "I want Captain Hayes to see these," Marcus said. Chen hesitated. "That's not necessary." "Then what is necessary?" Marcus asked. The question hung in the air. Chen had no answer that did not reveal the truth. Behind them, passengers were gathering. Word had spread. The terminal felt smaller and brighter. Marcus looked at Tanya. "Will you take them to her?" Tanya nodded. She picked up the papers and walked toward the jet bridge. Dana called after her. "Tanya, stop!" Tanya kept walking. Dana moved quickly and intercepted Tanya at the jet bridge entrance. Her face was composed, but her voice carried an edge. "Those documents are confidential," Dana said. Tanya stopped. Her hands tightened on the papers. Marcus saw her fear return. "The captain asked for the incident report," Tanya said. "I'll deliver it," Dana said. She reached for the papers. Tanya pulled them back slightly. The gesture was small but defiant. Dana's smile returned. It was cold and practiced. "Tanya, you're making a mistake," Dana said softly. The words were a warning. Tanya's face went pale, but she did not hand over the papers. Graham Hollis appeared in the jet bridge doorway. His expression was concerned and righteous. "Is there a problem?" Graham asked. He directed the question to Dana, not to Tanya, not to Marcus. "No problem, Mr. Hollis," Dana said. "Just a procedural matter." Graham looked at Marcus. His eyes were cold. "I felt uncomfortable earlier," Graham said. "I think the crew acted responsibly." Marcus felt the accusation land. Uncomfortable. The word did all the work. It turned feeling into fact. "What made you uncomfortable?" Marcus asked. His voice was calm. He refused to give Graham anger. Graham hesitated. Just a sense. You know? No, Marcus said. I don't know. The silence stretched. Graham's face reddened slightly. He had expected his discomfort to be enough. Ruth, Delgado appeared behind Graham. She had left her seat and walked through the cabin. Her face was calm, but her eyes were sharp. I'd like to know too, Ruth said. What specifically made you uncomfortable? Graham turned. He looked annoyed at being questioned by an older woman. I don't have to justify my feelings, Graham said. You do if they remove a man from a plane, Ruth said. Her voice was not loud. It was clear and steady, the kind of voice that had seen too much to be impressed by authority. Dana's jaw tightened. Ma'am, please return to your seat. Not until someone explains this, Ruth said. In the cockpit, Eleanor received a call. The voice was sharper now. Captain, you need to board the passenger and depart immediately. I need to see the documents first, Eleanor said. You're being insubordinate. Eleanor felt her chest tighten. Insubordinate, the word that ended careers. I'm being thorough, she said. She hung up. Her hands were shaking. She had just burned a bridge she might need. At the jet bridge, Tanya made a decision. She walked past Dana toward the aircraft door. Dana grabbed her arm. Stop! Tanya stopped. She looked at Dana's hand on her arm. Then she looked at Dana's face. Let go, Tanya said quietly. Dana released her, but the message had been sent. Tanya walked onto the aircraft. Eleanor met Tanya at the aircraft door. The flight attendant's hands shook as she held out the papers. Captain, these are the documents, Tanya said. Eleanor took them. Her eyes moved over the manifest and the change order. The timestamps told the story. Who authorized this change? Eleanor asked. It's marked as customer comfort, Tanya said. Eleanor felt anger rise in her throat. Customer comfort. The phrase that made discrimination sound reasonable. Marcus appeared behind Tanya. Chen had allowed him onto the jet bridge. Eleanor looked at him carefully. Mr. Reed, she said. Captain, Marcus said. His voice was respectful, but tired. Eleanor saw the exhaustion in his eyes. This was not the first time he had fought for basic dignity. Tell me what happened, Eleanor said. Marcus described it simply. No drama, no inflation, just the facts. Dana appeared in the doorway. Her face was tight with resentment. Captain, the passenger refused a reasonable accommodation, Dana said. What accommodation? Eleanor asked. A seat in economy on the next flight, Dana said. He had a confirmed first-class seat on this flight, Eleanor said. There was a concern, Dana said. Eleanor felt her patience snap. What concern? Be specific. Dana hesitated. Her answer was air and policy, but no substance. A passenger expressed discomfort, Dana said. Which passenger? Eleanor asked. Dana's silence was an admission. Eleanor felt the moral math become clear. One man's vague discomfort had been treated as evidence. Mr. Reed, did you threaten anyone? Eleanor asked. No, Marcus said. Did you refuse to follow crew instructions before being asked to move? Eleanor asked. No, Marcus said. Eleanor looked at Dana. Did you verify his boarding pass with the gate before asking him to move? Dana's face went blank. I verified it visually. But you didn't check with the system, Eleanor said. It was not a question. Dana's silence confirmed it. Eleanor felt the weight of responsibility sharpen. This was not about a seat. It was about who gets believed. Marcus sensed Eleanor's fear. He saw it in her eyes. She was risking her career, her reputation, the quiet life she had built by following rules. Captain, you don't have to do this, Marcus said quietly. Eleanor looked at him. She felt something in her chest crack open. "Yes," she said. "I do." She turned to Dana. "I need the full report in writing. Names, timestamps, everything." Dana's face hardened. "This is inappropriate." "No," Eleanor said. "What happened to Mr. Reed was inappropriate." The cabin went quiet. Passengers were listening. Phones were recording. Eleanor had just chosen a side. Outside security, Malik Reed paced near the arrivals area. His phone buzzed with his father's text. "Captain stopped the flight. They're stalling." Malik's jaw tightened. He had seen this before. The slow machinery of injustice grinding his father down. He texted back, "Want me to call media?" Marcus's response came quickly. "Not yet. Let's get facts first." Malik wanted to burn it all down. He wanted to flood social media with outrage. But his father had taught him patience. He made a different call. "Jonathan, it's Malik Reed," he said. "I need you on standby." Jonathan Park was their corporate attorney. His voice was calm and precise. "What happened?" Jonathan asked. Malik explained. His words came fast and angry. Jonathan listened without interrupting. "We need documentation," Jonathan said. "Witnesses, timestamps." "My father is getting it now," Malik said. "Good. Don't let them isolate him. Don't let them make private deals." Malik felt his anger sharpen into focus. This was not about rage. It was about strategy. He called the airline's partnership liaison next, the woman who had spent months courting his father's investment. "Sarah, this is Malik Reed," he said. Sarah Kim's voice was warm. "Malik, how are you?" "My father was just removed from your flight," Malik said. The line went quiet. Malik heard Sarah's breath catch. "What?" she asked. "Gate 47, Flight 2891. They removed him on a manufactured concern," Malik said. Sarah's voice changed. Professional warmth became professional alarm. "I'll make calls immediately," she said. Malik hung up. He texted his father, "Legal is ready. Partnership team is calling operations. Don't back down." Inside the secure area, Tanya watched the activity at the gate. Supervisors were multiplying. The energy had shifted from containment to crisis management. Her phone buzzed. A text from her supervisor. "See me after your shift." Tanya felt her stomach drop. She was going to be punished. She had known it was coming, but seeing it in writing made it real. Marcus noticed her face. "What's wrong?" Tanya showed him the text. Marcus felt guilt rise in his throat. "I'm sorry," he said. "Don't be," Tanya said. "I should have done this years ago." Her voice shook, but her eyes were clear. She had chosen truth. The cost was just becoming visible. Ruth approached the podium. She had refused to return to her seat. "I'd like to give a statement," Ruth said to Chen. Chen looked annoyed. "Ma'am, that's not necessary." "It is to me," Ruth said. She pulled out her phone and opened the voice recorder. Chen's face went pale. Marcus watched the pieces move. His son was building pressure from outside. Tanya was holding the line inside. Ruth was creating witnesses. They were not letting the lie become permanent. A man in an expensive suit appeared at the gate. His name tag read, "Regional Vice President." His smile was practiced, and his voice was smooth. "Mr. Reed, I'm Stephen Walsh," he said. "Let's step into the office and resolve this privately." Marcus stayed where he was. He had learned that privacy meant erasure. "We can talk here," Marcus said. Walsh's smile tightened. "I think you'd prefer a more discreet conversation." "I don't," Marcus said. Walsh glanced at Chen. Something passed between them. A calculation about damage control. "Mr. Reed, we deeply regret this misunderstanding," Walsh said. The word misunderstanding was carefully chosen. It implied no one was at fault. It wasn't a misunderstanding, Marcus said. It was a lie. Walsh's face went blank for a moment. He was not used to being contradicted. Let me offer you immediate reinstatement to first class, Walsh said, plus a travel voucher for future flights. Marcus felt the trap close. The offer was designed to make him disappear quietly. And an apology? Marcus asked. Of course, Walsh said. A public one? Marcus asked. Walsh hesitated. We can discuss that privately. Marcus shook his head. I don't want special treatment. I want the lie corrected. We're offering you a resolution, Walsh said. You're offering me silence, Marcus said. Walsh's patience was wearing thin. He pulled out his phone and glanced at the screen. His eyebrows lifted slightly. Mr. Reed, may I ask what you do for a living? Walsh asked. Marcus felt his stomach turn. He knew what was coming. He hated what was coming. I'm a CEO, Marcus said quietly. Walsh's face rearranged itself. The condescension vanished. The calculation changed. Of which company? Walsh asked. Reed Capital Partners, Marcus said. Walsh went very still. Marcus saw recognition dawn. Reed Capital was negotiating a partnership worth $40 million with the airline. I see, Walsh said. His voice had changed completely. The authority had shifted. Marcus was no longer a problem passenger. He was a business asset. Eleanor watched from the aircraft doorway. She felt something in her chest tighten. She saw how quickly respect arrived when money was attached. Marcus felt grief more than vindication. He could see how differently the air treated him now. I don't want this fixed because of who I am, Marcus said. I want it fixed because it was wrong. Walsh's smile was careful now. Of course, absolutely. But Marcus could see the lie still moving. Walsh was calculating how to protect the airline, not how to protect the truth. Dana stood near the galley. Her face had gone pale. She had just humiliated someone with power. Graham shifted uncomfortably in his seat. He suddenly felt exposed. Marcus looked at Walsh directly. If you can fix it for me because of my title, you can fix it for the man without one. The statement landed in the gate area and the cabin. Passengers looked at each other. Phones kept recording. Walsh's smile faltered. Walsh gestured toward the jet bridge. His voice was warm now, almost friendly. Mr. Reed, please reboard. We'll handle everything from here, he said. Marcus did not move. The offer felt wrong. It was too easy, too clean. What about the documentation? Marcus asked. We'll conduct an internal review, Walsh said. Internal. The word meant hidden. Marcus felt his stomach tighten. And the crew member who helped me? Marcus asked. He glanced at Tanya. Her face was pale. She knew what internal reviews meant for people who told the truth. We'll handle personnel matters appropriately, Walsh said. Marcus heard the threat. Tanya would be punished for doing the right thing. That's not acceptable, Marcus said. Walsh's smile thinned. Mr. Reed, we're offering you a very generous resolution. You're offering me a bribe to look away, Marcus said. The word bribe made Walsh stiffen. Around them, passengers shifted. The conversation was becoming public testimony. Eleanor stepped fully into the jet bridge. Her voice was calm but clear. Mr. Walsh, I need the full incident report before I depart, she said. Walsh turned to her. His expression was annoyed. Captain Hayes, we've resolved the situation, he said. No, Eleanor said. You've offered Mr. Reed his seat back. That's not the same as resolving what happened. Walsh's jaw tightened. Captain, you're creating unnecessary complications. I'm ensuring accuracy, Eleanor said. Her voice was steady, but Marcus saw her hands shake slightly. She was terrified. But she was not backing down. Dana appeared beside Walsh. Her face was composed, but her eyes were sharp with fear. "The passenger was disruptive," Dana said. "I followed protocol." "Which protocol?" Eleanor asked. Dana's mouth opened and closed. There was no protocol for manufacturing concerns. Graham stood from his seat. He walked to the aircraft door. His face was flushed. "I told the crew I felt uncomfortable," Graham said. "They were protecting the cabin." "From what?" Ruth asked from behind him. Graham turned. Ruth's face was calm, but her eyes were fierce. "From a man sitting quietly with a book?" Ruth asked. Graham's face reddened further. "I have a right to feel safe." "You have a right to feel comfortable," Ruth said. "That's not the same thing." The distinction landed. Passengers murmured. Someone whispered agreement. Marcus felt the moment tipping. The truth was becoming visible, but so was the cost. Tanya's phone buzzed again. She glanced at it and her face went white. Marcus saw her hands shake. "What is it?" Marcus asked quietly. "They're suspending me pending investigation," Tanya whispered. Marcus felt his resolve waver. Tanya was being destroyed for helping him. Eleanor's career was at risk. The passengers were trapped on a delayed flight. He could end this. He could accept the voucher and the quiet apology. He could board the plane and let everyone move on. But the lie would remain, and the next person would suffer without witnesses. Marcus looked at Tanya. "I'm sorry." "Don't be," she said. Her voice broke slightly. "Please don't be." Walsh sensed Marcus's hesitation. "Mr. Reed, let's be reasonable." Marcus felt the weight of other people's suffering press against his conscience. The cost of integrity had just become visible. Two security officers appeared again. Their faces were neutral, but their presence was a message. Walsh had called them. "Mr. Reed, we need you to step back from the secure area," the taller officer said. Marcus felt his chest tighten. They were removing him again. But this time the reason was different. "Why?" Marcus asked. "You're disrupting operations," Walsh said smoothly. The word disruption was elastic. It could mean anything. Marcus realized they were reframing his refusal to cooperate as the problem. "I'm standing at a podium asking questions," Marcus said. "You're preventing this flight from departing," Walsh said. The accusation was designed to turn passengers against him. Marcus saw heads turn in the cabin. Annoyance flickered across faces. Eleanor's phone rang. She answered, and her face went pale. "Captain Hayes, this is Chief Pilot Morrison," the voice said. "You're being removed from this flight effective immediately." Eleanor felt her breath catch. Her career was ending in real time. "Sir, I need to verify the passenger incident first," she said. "You need to follow orders," Morrison said. "A replacement captain is en route. You're to report to flight operations for review." Eleanor felt tears press behind her eyes. She had spent 32 years building her reputation. It was dissolving in minutes. "Understood," she said quietly. She hung up. Her hands shook. She looked at Marcus and he saw her fear. "I'm sorry," Marcus said. Eleanor shook her head. "Don't be. You didn't do this." But Marcus felt the weight anyway. Eleanor was being punished for defending him. Tanya was suspended. The system was crushing everyone who refused to cooperate with the lie. Tanya walked to the podium. Her face was wet with tears she had tried to hold back. "I'm sorry," she whispered to Marcus. "I can't do more." Her voice broke. Marcus felt his heart crack. Tanya was apologizing for her own persecution. "You did everything," Marcus said. But it did not feel like enough. Tanya walked away toward the supervisor's office. Her shoulders were hunched as if carrying weight too heavy to bear. Ruth tried to speak with Walsh. He dismissed her politely but firmly. "Ma'am, please return to the aircraft," Walsh said. Not until someone admits what happened here, Ruth said. Ma'am, you're delaying the flight, Walsh said. Ruth's voice was sharp. The airline delayed the flight when it removed an innocent man. Walsh's smile was gone now. Security, please escort this passenger back to her seat. Ruth looked at Marcus. Her eyes were sad but clear. She had tried. The officers waited for Marcus to comply. He felt the loneliness sharpen. The system had isolated him again. His phone buzzed. Malik. Don't give up. We're building the case. But Marcus felt doubt crawl back. He was destroying people's lives by insisting on dignity. Maybe the cost was too high. He looked at Eleanor standing near the cockpit door, her career in ruins. He looked at the empty space where Tanya had stood, her job suspended. The lie was winning because the truth was expensive. Marcus felt something inside him waver. He wanted to stop the pain he was causing. He wanted to protect the people who had tried to protect him. The security officer's voice was gentle. Sir, please come with us. Marcus took a step toward them. The moment felt like surrender. Then Ruth's voice called from the cabin, clear and steady. Don't let them make you small. Marcus stopped. The words hit him in the chest. He turned and looked at Ruth. She stood in the aircraft doorway. Her face was calm. Marcus felt his spine straighten. He was tired. He was grieving. But he was not small. No, he said to the officer. I'm not leaving until this is documented properly. Walsh's face went hard. Then we'll have you removed. Good, Marcus said. Do it on camera. Do it in front of witnesses. Make sure everyone sees exactly what compliance costs. The gate area went quiet. Phones lifted. The truth was about to become undeniable. The security officers escorted Marcus to a seating area near a service corridor. The space was quiet and removed from the main terminal. Marcus felt the isolation settle over him. He was being separated again, made invisible again. Walsh followed with his phone pressed to his ear. His voice was low, but Marcus caught fragments. Damage control, legal exposure, partnership risk. Marcus sat in a plastic chair and felt exhaustion press into his bones. He had been fighting for 3 hours. His meeting was in 2 hours. The scholarships were slipping away. His phone buzzed. Malik. Media's calling me. Say the word. Marcus hesitated. One statement could ignite everything. But fire was not the same as justice. He texted back. Not yet. Wait for clean evidence. Malik's response was immediate. They're burying you while we wait. Marcus felt the truth of it. Every minute they delayed gave the airline time to craft its story. In the cockpit, Eleanor gathered her belongings. The replacement captain had arrived, a younger man with efficient movements and no questions. Eleanor's hands shook as she packed her flight bag. 32 years ending in a corridor. She felt tears threaten but would not let them fall. A flight attendant touched her arm gently. I'm sorry, Captain. Eleanor nodded. She could not speak. Her throat was too tight. Ruth sat in her seat and watched the crew reset. They were pretending nothing had happened, erasing the disruption with fresh smiles and efficient service. She pulled out her phone and typed an email to the airline's executive team. Her words were precise and unforgiving. Graham stared out the window. His reflection looked uncomfortable. He told himself he had done nothing wrong, but the words felt hollow. At the gate, Tanya sat in the supervisor's office and signed papers. Her hands trembled. The supervisor's face was sympathetic, but the message was clear. She was being removed from duty. Pending investigation meant unemployment with paperwork. You understand you violated confidentiality protocols, the supervisor said. I shared facts, Tanya said. You shared internal documents without authorization. Tanya felt her stomach turn. The system had rules to protect itself, not people. Back in the corridor, Marcus watched Walsh approach. The vice president's face was composed, but his eyes were calculating. "Mr. Reed, I need you to understand something," Walsh said. "This situation is becoming a liability for everyone involved." Marcus looked at him. "Including the airline?" "Including the people who tried to help you," Walsh said. The threat was clear. Keep fighting, and Tanya's suspension becomes permanent. Keep fighting, and Eleanor loses everything. Marcus felt the weight of other people's suffering press against his chest. He wanted to protect them. But protecting them meant letting the lie win. His breath caught. He was trapped between dignity and destruction. Walsh's voice was gentle now, almost kind. "Let us handle this internally," Walsh said. "Everyone walks away intact." Marcus felt the temptation, the easy path, the quiet erasure. Then he thought about the next person, the one without resources, the one without witnesses. "No," Marcus said quietly. Tanya walked out of the supervisor's office with red eyes and shaking hands. She had signed the suspension papers. Her job was hanging by threads. She found Marcus in the corridor. He stood when he saw her. "I'm sorry," Marcus said. Tanya shook her head. Her voice was hoarse from crying. "Don't be sorry," she said. "I should have done this years ago." Marcus felt his throat tighten. Tanya was being destroyed for telling the truth, and she was apologizing to him. "You could lose everything," Marcus said. "I already lost it," Tanya said. "I lost it every time I stayed quiet." Her words hit Marcus in the chest. He understood what she meant. Complicity had its own cost. "What will you do?" Marcus asked. "I don't know," Tanya said. "But I won't be quiet anymore." She pulled out her phone and opened her email. Her fingers moved quickly across the screen. "What are you doing?" Marcus asked. "Sending my statement to the press," Tanya said. Marcus felt his pulse quicken. "Tanya, they'll destroy you." "They already are," she said. "At least this way it means something." She hit send. The email disappeared into the network. The truth was becoming public. In the cockpit, Eleanor received a call from her union representative. The man's voice was careful. "Eleanor, you need to file a formal report," he said. "About what?" Eleanor asked. "About being removed for questioning a discriminatory action," he said. Eleanor felt something shift inside her. She had thought of herself as the problem, but maybe the problem was the system that punished questions. "I'll file it," she said. "Good," the representative said. "And Eleanor, you did the right thing?" Eleanor felt tears finally break through. She covered her face with her hands. The relief was painful. She called the gate from her personal phone. The supervisor answered. "This is Captain Hayes," Eleanor said. "I'm formally requesting copies of all documentation related to passenger Marcus Reed's removal." The supervisor hesitated. "Captain, you're not on duty." "I'm a witness," Eleanor said, "and I'm entitled to documentation." Her voice was steady now. Clear. She was not asking permission. "I'll see what I can do," the supervisor said. Eleanor hung up. She had just tied her fate to the truth. There was no going back. At the gate, Walsh's phone buzzed repeatedly. His face tightened with each message. The story was leaking. Social media was starting to catch fire. He approached Marcus again. His smile was gone. "Mr. Reed, this is getting out of hand," Walsh said. "It was out of hand when you removed me," Marcus said. Walsh's jaw tightened. "We're trying to protect everyone here." "No," Marcus said. "You're trying to protect the airline." Walsh's eyes went cold. "You're making this harder than it needs to be." "You made it hard when you lied," Marcus said. Ruth appeared from the gate area. She had left her seat again despite crew protests. "I've sent my statement to 10 news outlets," Ruth said calmly. Walsh turned to her. His face was pale. "Ma'am, that's your right." "Yes," Ruth said. "It is." She looked at Marcus. Her eyes were clear and fierce. "Don't let them tire you out," she said. Marcus felt his spine straighten. He was not tired. He was determined. The bridge was holding. The supervisor appeared in the corridor. His face was drawn and uncomfortable. He carried a folder Marcus recognized as internal records. "Mr. Reed, may I speak with you privately?" the supervisor asked. Marcus stayed in his chair. "Here is fine." The supervisor glanced at Walsh. Something passed between them, reluctance and warning. "There have been other incidents," the supervisor said quietly. Marcus felt his stomach drop. "Other removals?" The supervisor nodded. His voice was barely audible. "Similar situations. Passengers moved or removed based on comfort requests." "How many?" Marcus asked. "I found 6 in the past year," the supervisor said. Marcus felt anger rise in his throat. 6 people. 6 stories buried under procedure. "What happened to those passengers?" Marcus asked. "Most accepted flight changes," the supervisor said. "One filed a complaint that was settled quietly." Quietly. The word made Marcus's chest tighten. The system had a formula for making injustice disappear. Walsh stepped forward. His face was hard. "This is confidential information." "It's a pattern," Marcus said. "It's isolated incidents," Walsh said. 6 times is not isolated, Marcus said. "It's policy." Outside the secure area, Malik's phone rang. A reporter from a major outlet. He answered quickly. "This is Malik Reed," he said. "Mr. Reed, we received documents suggesting your father was removed from a flight today," the reporter said. Malik felt his pulse quicken. Tanya's email was working. "That's correct," Malik said. "We also received internal emails referencing something called de-escalation protocol," the reporter said. Malik went still. "What emails?" The reporter read portions aloud. The language was careful but clear. The protocol instructed staff to handle comfort requests quietly. Move passengers before conflict escalated. Document as little as possible. It was a handbook for discrimination. "Can you send me those emails?" Malik asked. "We're verifying them now," the reporter said. "But they appear authentic." Malik texted his father immediately. "They have the protocol. It's real. It's documented." In the cockpit, Eleanor read her union rep's email. Other pilots were coming forward. They had seen similar removals. Some had questioned them. Most had stayed silent. Eleanor felt her resolve harden. She had been part of this system. She had benefited from keeping the peace. No more. She forwarded the email to Marcus with a note. "You're not alone. This is bigger than one flight." Ruth moved through the cabin, speaking quietly to passengers. She asked if they would give statements about what they witnessed. A young man nodded. "I saw everything. It was wrong." A woman with a laptop agreed. "I recorded part of it." Graham sat frozen in his seat. He had started this with one word. Uncomfortable. He had not expected witnesses to matter. At the gate, the supervisor looked at Walsh and Marcus. His voice was shaking. "This goes higher than me," he said. "This is system-wide." Dana stood, near the galley. She overheard the supervisor's words. Her face drained of color. She had followed protocol. She had done what she was trained to do. And now the protocol was becoming evidence. Dana walked to the corridor where Marcus sat. Her face was composed, but her eyes were sharp with desperation. "Mr. Reed, I need you to understand something," she said. Marcus looked up. He felt tired in his bones. I was following procedure, Dana said. I did exactly what I was trained to do. You lied, Marcus said quietly. Dana's face went hard. I responded to a legitimate concern. What concern? Marcus asked. Be specific. Dana's mouth opened and closed. She had no answer that held truth. Mr. Hollis expressed discomfort, Dana said finally. So you removed me, Marcus said. I protected the cabin, Dana said. Marcus felt anger flash through his exhaustion. From what? A man reading a book? Dana's voice rose slightly. You don't understand the pressure we're under. No, Marcus said. You don't understand what you did to me. Dana's composure cracked. You're destroying people's careers over a seat. Marcus stood. His voice stayed level, but his words cut. You destroyed my dignity in public, he said. Don't tell me what this is over. Dana turned to Walsh. He manipulated the gate agent. She falsified documents. The accusation landed like a bomb. Marcus felt his breath catch. That's a lie, Marcus said. She printed internal records without authorization, Dana said. She gave them to you to build a case. Walsh looked at Marcus. His expression was calculating. If Tanya was corrupt, Marcus's evidence was tainted. The timestamps don't lie, Marcus said. The timestamps show what she wanted them to show, Dana said. Marcus felt the trap close around him again. They were twisting Tanya's courage into manipulation. In the corridor outside the supervisor's office, Tanya heard Dana's accusation. Her legs went weak. She leaned against the wall. Falsified. The word would end her career permanently, not suspension. Termination. She pulled out her phone with shaking hands. She could not fix this. She had no power left. Eleanor sat in the crew lounge and received a text from flight operations. They were opening a formal investigation into her conduct. The word insubordination appeared 3 times. Her career was over. She felt the certainty settle over her. 32 years dissolving because she had asked questions. She thought about her daughter. The pride in her voice when she said her mother was a captain. That pride would turn to shame. Eleanor felt tears fall. She did not wipe them away. At the gate, passengers were restless. The delay had stretched beyond reason. Some filmed the confrontation. Others complained loudly. A man in a business suit shouted at the gate agent, "This is ridiculous. Just let the man back on or move on." The sentiment spread. Passengers wanted resolution. They did not care about truth anymore. They cared about departure. Marcus felt the weight of their frustration turn toward him. He was the problem now. He was the reason they were late. Walsh sensed the shift. "Mr. Reed, you're losing support." Marcus looked at the faces in the cabin. Some were sympathetic. Most were annoyed. A few were hostile. He was alone again. The witnesses were turning away. The cost was becoming too high. His phone buzzed. Malik. "Dad, maybe we should take the deal. You've done enough." Marcus felt his resolve waver. His son was telling him to stop, to protect himself, to let it go. He thought about Tanya suspended. Eleanor removed, Ruth trapped in the cabin, all because he had refused to disappear quietly. Maybe he was wrong. Maybe dignity was not worth this much pain. Marcus walked to the window and looked at the plane. It sat motionless on the tarmac, a monument to his refusal. He felt despair come like weather, heavy and cold and relentless. Walsh appeared beside him. His voice was gentle. "You can end this now," Walsh said. "Board the flight. We'll sort everything out later." Marcus closed his eyes. The temptation was overwhelming. He was so tired. He turned and looked at Walsh. "If I stop now, what happens to the next person?" Walsh said nothing. Marcus felt something harden inside him. No. If we stop now, they learn they can do this forever. Marcus walked back to the gate area. His legs felt unsteady, but his voice was clear. I want a formal meeting, he said. Recorded, with the airline manager, the supervisor, and Captain Hayes present. Walsh's face tightened. That's not how we handle these matters. Then change how you handle them, Marcus said. Malik arrived at the secure area entrance. He had clearance through Sarah Kim's intervention. He walked directly to his father. Legal counsel is on the phone, Malik said. He handed Marcus his phone on speaker. Jonathan Park's voice was calm and precise. Mr. Reed, you're entitled to a documented review of this incident. Walsh looked at the phone. His calculation was visible. Legal involvement meant exposure. We can arrange a meeting, Walsh said carefully. Now, Marcus said. Not later, not privately. Here. Walsh hesitated, then nodded. The alternative was worse. 10 minutes later, they gathered at the gate. Eleanor appeared despite being removed from duty. Her face was composed, but her hands shook. Ruth left her seat and stood near Marcus. The crew did not stop her. The normal rules had dissolved. Tanya was called from the office. She walked slowly, expecting condemnation. Instead, Marcus nodded at her. Support without words. Walsh sat at the podium. The supervisor stood beside him with his folder of incidents. Dana remained in the background, her face pale. A small crowd of passengers gathered. Phones were recording. This was no longer private. Walsh cleared his throat. Let's start with the facts. Let's start with the question, Marcus said. Whose comfort required my removal? The question hung in the air. Walsh looked at Dana. Dana looked at Graham. Graham remained in his seat. His face was flushed. He did not stand. Ruth spoke. Her voice was steady. Mr. Hollis told the crew he felt uneasy. That's in my statement. Uneasy about what? Marcus asked. Graham finally stood. He walked slowly to the gate area. His voice was defensive. I felt something was off, he said. What was off? Eleanor asked. Her voice was not accusatory. It was genuinely asking. Graham struggled to answer. I don't know, he said. A feeling. Describe the feeling, Marcus said gently. Graham's face reddened. I can't. It was just there. Was it because I'm black? Marcus asked. The question was simple, direct. The cabin went silent. Graham's mouth opened. No words came. His silence was its own answer. Ruth spoke again. Feelings aren't evidence. They're just feelings. The distinction landed. Passengers murmured agreement. Graham looked around and realized he was alone in his certainty. I didn't mean... Graham started. Yes, you did, Marcus said quietly. And that's the problem. Dana tried to intervene. I made a judgment call based on passenger concern. You made a choice based on bias, Eleanor said, and you dressed it up as procedure. Her voice was clear and strong. She had nothing left to lose. The truth felt liberating. Tanya stepped forward. Her voice shook, but her words were precise. I printed what the system printed, she said. The timestamps are accurate. The seat change was made after Mr. Reed boarded. She pulled out her phone and showed the screen to Walsh. The evidence was undeniable. Walsh looked at the documents. His face was grim. He could no longer hide behind maybe or misunderstanding. We will correct the record, Walsh said finally, publicly. Dana's certainty collapsed. Her face went white. Walsh stood and addressed the gathered passengers and staff. His voice was formal but strained. There was an error in judgment today, he said. Not an error, Marcus said. A choice. Walsh's jaw tightened. A choice made without proper verification. Made because someone felt uncomfortable, Marcus said. That's not policy. That's prejudice. The words landed hard. Passengers shifted. Recording continued. This was becoming testimony. Graham spoke again. His voice was quieter now, almost pleading. "I didn't ask for anyone to be removed," he said. "I just said I felt uneasy." Marcus turned to him. His voice was not angry. It was sad. "And what do you think uneasy becomes?" Marcus asked. "When institutions treat feelings as facts?" Graham had no answer. He looked at the floor. Ruth spoke next. Her statement was clear and damning. "I watched a man get removed for sitting quietly," she said. "The only thing unusual about him was his skin color." Dana tried to protest. "That's not fair. I wasn't—" "You checked his boarding pass 3 times," Ruth said. "You didn't check anyone else's even once." The observation was simple. Devastating. Dana's face flushed. Eleanor added her voice. "I asked for specifics. You gave me vagueness. That's not procedure. That's avoidance." Walsh raised his hand. "Captain Hayes, you were removed for insubordination." "I was removed for asking questions," Eleanor said. "That should concern everyone." Passengers murmured agreement. A woman called out from the cabin. "She did the right thing." Tanya spoke again. Her voice was stronger now. "I've seen this 6 times in the past year," she said. "Passengers moved or removed based on comfort. It's always the same pattern." Walsh turned to her sharply. "That information is confidential." "It's evidence," Tanya said, "and it proves Mr. Reed wasn't isolated." The supervisor stepped forward reluctantly. He looked at Walsh and then at Marcus. "The incidents are documented," the supervisor said. "I found the pattern myself." Walsh's face went pale. His own staff was contradicting him. The lie was crumbling publicly. "We need to review these cases," Walsh said carefully. "You need to admit what they are," Marcus said. "Discrimination dressed up as customer service." The word discrimination had been avoided until now. Saying it aloud changed the air. Dana finally broke. Her voice rose with desperation. "I followed training," she said. "I did what I was taught to do." "Then the training is wrong," Eleanor said. Dana's eyes filled with tears. Not tears of remorse. Tears of being caught. "I could lose my job over this," Dana said. "I lost my dignity," Marcus said, "in front of 100 people." The contrast was stark. Dana's job versus Marcus's humanity. The room felt the weight of it. Walsh took a breath. His voice was formal and defeated. "We will conduct a transparent review," he said. "We will revise training protocols. Removal decisions will require documented facts, not feelings." Marcus studied his face. "And the people who spoke up?" Walsh hesitated. "What about them?" "Tanya and Captain Hayes," Marcus said. "They need protection, not punishment." Walsh looked at both women. Eleanor stood straight, despite her fear. Tanya's hands still shook, but her eyes were clear. "We'll take their cooperation into account," Walsh said. "That's not good enough," Marcus said. "They told the truth. That requires commendation, not consideration." Walsh's face was tight, but he nodded. "Agreed." Graham stood abruptly. He walked toward the exit without looking at anyone. His shame was visible and complete. Ruth watched him go. Her voice was quiet. "That's the hardest part. Seeing yourself clearly." Dana turned and walked back to the aircraft. Her career was over. She knew it. The cabin watched her pass. Marcus felt no victory, only exhaustion and grief for how hard truth had been. "Can I board now?" Marcus asked quietly. Walsh nodded. "Yes, Mr. Reed. With our deepest apologies." The apology felt hollow, but it was public, documented, real. Marcus walked down the jet bridge for the 3rd time. His legs were heavy. His chest felt tight. This was not a victory walk. The cabin was silent as he entered. Every eye turned toward him. The attention felt heavy and uncomfortable. He moved slowly to his seat. Row 3, window. The seat he had paid for. The seat that had been stolen through words and policy. He sat down and buckled his seatbelt. His hands moved automatically. He felt numb. Ruth caught his eye from behind him. She gave a small nod. Her face was calm and proud. Marcus tried to smile, but his face would not cooperate. He was too tired. The flight attendant approached. Not Dana, someone new. Her face was nervous and apologetic. "Mr. Reed, can I get you anything?" she asked. Her voice was gentle. Marcus heard the guilt in it. Collective responsibility for what happened. "Water, please," Marcus said. She brought it quickly. Her hands shook slightly as she set it down. "I'm sorry," she whispered. Marcus nodded. He did not have words left. The captain's voice came through the speakers. Not Eleanor. The replacement. His tone was professional and careful. "Ladies and gentlemen, we apologize for the delay. We'll be departing shortly." No explanation. No acknowledgement. The story was being erased already. Marcus looked out the window. The airport moved around the aircraft like nothing had happened. Normal operations resuming. He felt the grief deepen. How quickly the world forgot its own cruelty. The engines started. Their low hum filled the cabin. The plane pushed back from the gate. Marcus closed his eyes. He wanted to feel relief. Instead, he felt hollow. Eleanor stood in the terminal and watched the plane taxi away. She had been removed, but her conscience was clean. The cost was high, but the alternative was higher. Her phone rang. Her union rep again. "Eleanor, 3 other pilots have filed reports supporting your actions," he said. Eleanor felt tears threaten. She was not alone. "Thank you," she whispered. Tanya sat in the supervisor's office and waited for her fate. Her phone buzzed. An email from Walsh. Suspension lifted. Return to duty pending new protocol training. Your cooperation is noted and appreciated. Tanya read it twice. She was not fired. She was being protected. Barely, but protected. She let herself cry. Relief and exhaustion and disbelief all at once. On the plane, passengers returned to their phones and books. The drama was over. Life resumed. Graham sat in economy on a different flight. He stared out the window and felt shame eat at him. He had started this with one word. Uncomfortable. He wondered who else he had hurt over the years with feelings dressed up as facts. Ruth pulled out her journal and wrote. Her words were precise. She documented everything. The system would try to forget. She would not let it. Marcus felt the plane lift off. The wheels left the ground and the cabin, tilted upward. He opened his eyes and watched the city shrink below. He had fought. He had won. But victory felt like grief. The scholarships would still happen. The meeting could be rescheduled. But something in him had shifted. He understood now how much energy it took to exist while being questioned. How much dignity cost when others decided its value. The flight attendant approached again. "Mr. Reed, the captain would like to speak with you after landing." Marcus nodded. He wondered what the new captain would say. Probably nothing that mattered. The cabin settled into the rhythm of flight. Quiet and mechanical and ordinary. Marcus felt his body finally relax. But his mind stayed alert. Watching. Waiting for the next moment when his presence would be questioned. He pulled out his phone and texted Malik. Landed safely. Eventually. Malik responded immediately. "Proud of you." Marcus stared at the words. He did not feel proud. He felt tired. The plane flew through clear sky. The world looked peaceful from above. Marcus wished it felt that way below. The hotel room was quiet. Marcus sat by the window and watched the city lights. The meeting had gone well. The scholarships were secured. 200 students would have opportunities. But Marcus felt the weight of the day settle in his bones. Justice had happened. Barely. Reluctantly. His phone rang. Jonathan Park, his attorney. "Marcus, the airline wants a formal meeting tomorrow," Jonathan said. "Why?" Marcus asked. "They want to discuss systemic changes," Jonathan said. "Real ones, not just PR." Marcus felt something shift. Not hope exactly, but possibility. The meeting happened in a conference room with floor-to-ceiling windows. Walsh was there. So was the airline's CEO, legal counsel, HR directors. Malik sat beside Marcus. Eleanor joined by video conference. Tanya was present in person, her face nervous but determined. The CEO spoke first. Her voice was direct. "Mr. Reed, we failed you," she said, "and we've failed others. That stops now." Marcus studied her face. He wanted to believe her. But words were easy. "What specifically changes?" Marcus asked. The CEO outlined new protocols. Removal decisions required documented facts. Customer comfort requests needed verification and approval from senior staff. All incidents would be reviewed by an independent committee. "And training?" Eleanor asked from the screen. "Completely redesigned," the CEO said, "with input from civil rights organizations." Tanya spoke quietly. "Will this actually be enforced?" The CEO looked at her directly. "You'll help us enforce it. We want you on the training development team." Tanya's eyes widened. She had expected termination. Instead, she was being given purpose. Eleanor received formal commendation. Her record cleared. Her suspension erased. An apology entered in writing. "What about the other passengers?" Marcus asked. "The 6 incidents from before." "We're reaching out to each one," the CEO said, "offering apologies and compensation, and we're reviewing every comfort request from the past 3 years." Marcus felt his chest tighten. It was not enough. It would never be enough. But it was movement. "And Dana?" Marcus asked. The CEO's face was grave. "Terminated. She violated multiple protocols and falsified incident reports." Marcus felt no satisfaction. Dana was not the system. She was just the hand that carried out its orders. "The system trained her to do what she did," Marcus said. "Yes," the CEO said. "That's why we're changing the system." The meeting ended with handshakes and documents. Marcus signed nothing. He wanted to see the changes happen first. That night, Marcus sat alone in his hotel room. His phone showed messages from supporters, from other travelers who had experienced similar removals, from people thanking him for not backing down. He felt the responsibility settle over him. He had become a symbol, but he was just a man who wanted to be treated normally. Malik knocked and entered. He sat beside his father. "You did it," Malik said. "We did it," Marcus said. "Tanya, Eleanor, Ruth, all of us." Malik nodded. "Still, you started it by refusing to disappear." Marcus looked at his son. "I wanted to disappear, so many times." "But you didn't," Malik said. Marcus felt tears press behind his eyes. He let them come. The grief and exhaustion and relief all mixed together. "It shouldn't be this hard," Marcus said. "No," Malik said, "it shouldn't." They sat in silence. The city glowed beyond the window. Somewhere, another person was fighting for dignity. The work was never finished. Marcus thought about Graham's face when he realized what his discomfort had caused, about Dana's desperation to protect herself, about Eleanor's courage and Tanya's trembling hands. People were complicated. Systems were simple. They did what they were built to do. The question was what to build next. Marcus felt his body finally relax. The fight was over. For now. But he knew it would come again. Next time, there would be better protocols, more witnesses, clearer paths to truth. But there would still be a fight, because dignity always required defense. Marcus stood and looked at the city. Tomorrow he would fly home. Different airline. New crew. He would board carefully, watch faces, measure glances, prepare for the moment when his presence was questioned. But he would board. He would fly. He would arrive intact. And if the fight came again, he would not face it alone. Malik stood beside him. Ready to go home? Marcus nodded. Almost. He picked up his phone and sent a text to Eleanor. Thank you for drawing the line. Eleanor responded quickly. Thank you for holding it. He texted Tanya. You were brave when it mattered most. Tanya's response took longer. I'm still scared, but I'm okay. Ruth sent him an email with her full written testimony, pages of precise observation and moral clarity. She ended with, Don't let them make you smaller. The world needs people who refuse to shrink. Marcus saved the email. He would read it again when doubt crept back. He looked at his son. Malik's eyes were tired but proud. Let's go home, Marcus said. They left the hotel and walked through the quiet city. The night air was cool and clean. Marcus felt his body remember how to breathe normally. Justice was not celebration. It was exhausted peace after necessary battle. It was knowing the fight might come again, but you survived this time. It was choosing dignity over comfort, truth over silence. Marcus hailed a taxi. The driver smiled at him. Just a normal customer. Just a man going home. For a moment, Marcus let himself be just that. A man. Not a symbol. Not a fighter. Just a person who wanted to be seen clearly. And treated fairly. The taxi pulled away. The city lights blurred past the window. Marcus closed his eyes and felt the moment settle. He had not won everything, but he had won something. And sometimes something was enough. Dignity restored. One brave refusal at a time.